Okay, okay. Check square. Yeah, it's basically square. Beautiful. That just reduces the amount of work that we have to do. So you can butt a square edge against another square edge. You can eliminate the need for as much cutting, and that is always good. It's funny that precision is not necessarily always about measuring, it's about setting up good reference edges for the most part. Somebody told me precision woodworking, you don't actually, like, you take some basic measurements, you will draw a good template, but then it's really just about setting up references, like reference edges. If you're installing plywood, for example, or any kind of sheet material or any kind of wood, you'll often have at least one edge that has a painted face, and that is your squared edge. I mean, it's always good to check the square on it, but from a factory cut, it should have at least one square corner. And that is what you use to reference things. I'll be right back. So yeah, so a lot of these videos probably should be going on a dedicated leatherworking channel, but I figured because they're HEMA related, I might make them private. I would have preferred to have live streamed this again, because I feel it's more appropriate for a live stream, but apparently YouTube has not deemed me worthy of live streaming yet, despite the fact that I do have the requisite 50 subscribers. Or maybe I haven't had them for a full 2 business days, which is I think what the actual system wants to make sure of. Oh well. You can only work with the tools you have on hand. And for tools you don't have on hand, you can always order them from Amazon. Okay, use a slightly longer one here. This should all be one edge, in theory. Yeah, looks like. Very good. Okay, give myself a little mark. About yay to cut from. Then we're just gonna take all of these in one nice long swoop. Beautiful. Got a little bit extra, but it's always good to undercut your panels slightly than it is to overcut them and have to make a new one. Okay. Beautiful. I think I can get the remaining 4 over here. Can I establish a straight edge there and just work backwards from it? I think I might be able to. Or I could get 2 from here, and then the remainder from over here. Yeah, I already have a straight edge set up here. Might as well. I really don't like wasting this material, but at the end of the day, again, whatever gets your project completed. So if you need to waste a little bit of material to actually get it done, then I think at the end of the day, you're almost better off just wasting a little bit of material, because you're not working on margins, you're working on will it get done. and will it get done is the biggest test for prototyping or making any kind of small scale manufacturing like this. Would you even call this manufacturing? I guess so. I guess these are like personal customizations for pieces of gear that I own. Yeah, I think this is a good way to do this. I'll definitely make these more usable once I glue the caps on, because the edges just get more and more scuffed every time I do use them, which makes me not want to use them. But if something is made to be a sacrificial medium, then you don't really feel as bad scuffing it up. Oh man, that's over a little bit. Urgh. Okay. Let's see, can I save that? Yeah, let's try to redo it. It might show up on the finished product, but that's okay. Yeah, let's redo it. I'll just have to keep in mind where the line, or the offset line should be. Yeah, once it's all cut, you'll hardly notice it, I'm sure. Not that I think you're not perceptive. I'm sure you are. But at the end of the day, like I said, whatever gets it done sometimes is the necessary evil. It looks like it's time to give it another stropping. I think these really don't lend themselves super well to video format, because this is the kind of thing that I would prefer to just do live. Uploading this as a video is going to be a little bit silly, but you know what? I'll do it anyways. Make YouTube pay for my storage. Sometimes I do lament that it's so much easier to get things done at night than during the day. I should be sleeping right now, because I do have to go to work in the morning. But it's just so much easier to get things done when there are no distractions. And that means after dark. See, this stuff is so bendy if you don't brace it. It just kind of glides along with the X-Acto knife. Yeah. There we go. Rough cuts. I'm just gonna make this edge nice and even. Yeah, I gotta say, having to work around this tripod is kind of a pain. This is part of the repetitive process of once you make the pattern, then cutting out the pieces. I don't actually mind doing that other repetitive stuff though. And this was a fairly simple pattern to make. Maybe I'm just complaining about things that I am not as good as I should be at, and that is why I do not like doing them. Maybe onto something there. Oop. Okay. Done with that. We'll cut these out. In theory, I should be able to cut across both of these at the same time. Yeah, it looks like. Oof, maybe I need to strop this again. Come from where I got more light. Yep, perfect. Okay, now let's play count the panels. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Right, let's finish cutting these out. Dropping. Probably not super entertaining right now. This is really just the tedious stuff. Repetitive tasks. You just gotta power through, honestly. Okay. Yep, that works. Okay, one nice and cut out. Let's just check it. Huh, weird. I guess I flubbed this one in a good way. Oh, look at that. Okay, I'm just going to use the pattern itself, the template itself rather, to make some corrective cuts on it. I think you can hear a cat yowling. Perfect. Okay, good enough. Use this one right here. Oh my goodness, an hour and 20. Yeah, this really should have been a live stream. Crafting, unless you're doing some like final assembly, does not lend itself super well to a long form video. You can always tell the difference between a really well honed X-Acto knife and a not so well honed one. The difference is, and the cut is so dramatic. You should always use a sharp blade because you get so much more control from it. Perfect. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically lost my narration at this point. I'm just going into finishing mode. Nice. Alrighty, we're coming into the home stretch here. And like I said, I'm not going to do all of this hole punching because that would be even more tedious than all of these cuts at this point. Okay. Now I've got all the holes I want punched. Well, not all the holes I want punched. That's the exact wrong thing to say. I've got all the panels I need cut. So, I'm just going to call it for the night. I'm going to use this little hand awl and this little section right here of polyboard to establish all the holes. And I think I'm going to take a tiny little clamp to clamp this thing onto the work surface. Okay, so I need 4 of these, twice as many of these at 8. Need my whole template for these ones. What do I do with the whole template for the other ones? There it is. Need my whole template for these ones. That's not the right one. Is it underneath here? It might be. Well, I'll find it. Anyways, have a great night. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me if you hung out with me. Goodbye.